Hey everyone, it's theyre, and I realized something really interesting today, which is it's my birthday. I knew that when I woke up, but I am 46 years old, and so yay, happy 46th birthday. But I realized the interesting thing is February of this year, I celebrated 23 years in business. So 23 years in business at 46 years old means I've been in business literally half my life. Right? And I thought, wow, that's kind of a profound thing. I absolutely love what I do. I really, truly love what I do, enough to do it for more than 2 decades. Anyway, so I am super excited. I love celebrating life, celebrating special occasions, that kind of thing. So I have spent my birthday planning and strategizing and brainstorming and stuff like that. And I wanted to bring a couple of things to your attention and also ask you a couple of questions and get your input and feedback. So first of all, I want to share this with you. And it's scrolled across my screen on Instagram. And I'm on Instagram quite a bit, actually, but not as theyre, but as Low Carb Traveler. So that's in the niche that I work in. Anyway, I'm going to show it to you, but I don't know. The screen kind of glares, sometimes when I do that. So I'll just read it to you real quick. And it says, I aspire to be a woman who wakes up and loves what she does for a living every day, travels often, spiritually secured, and financially stable. And I have to tell you, there's so much like inspiration and motivation and things like that scroll across my screen, like on Instagram or Facebook or your updates or what have you. But I read this, and let me read it to you again. I aspire to be a woman who wakes up and loves what she does for a living every day, travels often, spiritually secured, and financially stable. And I was like, yes, that's me. It just gave me a moment for pause, to kind of celebrate, like who I am and what I've achieved and how far I've come in terms of, what being in business has meant for me and what my business, specifically the business model that I have, has meant for my life. And so anyway, I thought that was, really cool and just something I wanted to share with you. Of course, there's always, other things we want to accomplish, other stuff we want to achieve or do or be or become or what have you. And for me, my birthday is kind of like a new year. So it's kind of like Happy New Year all over again because it's like an opportunity for a fresh start. And so that's, like I said, how I spent my day. Anyway, I was lining up a couple of interesting topics that I thought you guys might really like, and I just kind of want to get your feedback. What I would like to know from you is if you could pick my brain, and some of you can. I'm very, very picky about, who I take on as consulting clients because I'm so busy doing what I teach. And that's really something you want to watch out for and be super cautious about when it comes to internet marketing or coaches or any of that kind of thing is, are they actually doing what you want to be doing? Are they successful at what you want to learn? And I think that's an incredibly important point because so many of them are not working in the trenches. They're not actively working in a niche or with these programs and platforms or what have you. And so I think it's really important that you ask yourself that, when you go to someone, in terms of, who you want to learn from. And there are a lot of people who have a lot of great copywriting and headlines and emails and they're giving this product and have that membership and yada, yada, yada. But I really encourage you to do your research and find out, are they doing anything current? Are they in the trenches? Are they really, doing the stuff so that they can teach you how to successfully do the stuff? And so anyway, just that point aside, I just wanted to say being 46 today and realizing that I've been in business for 23 years and that it was half my life, that was just kind of like one of those moments where I was like, wow, I really love what I do. Like, I truly love what I do. So I was thinking about doing kind of a series of maybe like show and tell videos or webinars or what have you. And I'm not talking about something where I'm going to have a big red headline and, charge you $1,000 or nothing like that. But what I would like to ask you is, what would you like to learn from me? considering I have been in business 23 years and working online and like my history, I could, share my story, but we won't go into all of that right now. I started out in building computers, computer training, and had a web development company. So I've been doing online marketing professionally since the 90s. And at any rate, a couple of ideas that I had is this one, for example, is someone in my niche likes what I'm doing and is interested in doing it as well as I do. So I've been helping her out or what have you, and she just set up a Facebook page just now. And so kind of, lost as to where to start and what to do and how to build that audience and how to get it converting like mine does. So I will say my Facebook page, not this one, I'm talking about my niche page where I actually do internet marketing. Anyway, I will say my Facebook reach and audience and my email list are my two top converting communication sources right now. Anyway, so normally I charge $2.99 an hour for consulting, but I thought I could do it for her for free for two reasons. Number one, because I like her. And number two, because I thought, wouldn't it be cool if I invited everyone to watch in so that you could see exactly how I would do things today like I did when I started my Facebook page in that niche 8.5 years ago. So would I do anything differently? Exactly what would I do? How would I do it? The exact strategy, etc. So would you be interested in watching in while I have someone on the line that just set up a Facebook page for their niche and would like to know, okay, what do I do? Step 1, step 2, step 3. I know it might seem like a simple thing to some of you. Maybe you already run Facebook pages, but do you think maybe I do things a little different or somewhat creatively in order to get as much engagement and conversions online as I do? And maybe you're not familiar with or aware of that. So maybe that would be of interest to you also. If I could, kind of show you some live examples or what have you while I was teaching her, like hands-on, how to do it. So is that something you would be interested in? Let me know. So here's another idea I had. And this is really cool. And it really kind of, I think, would be interesting from both ends of the spectrum in terms of whether you have products and want to recruit affiliates and influencers, or whether you are an affiliate or want to be an affiliate or an influencer. So this is going to be a really fun topic. All right, so just in December, I met a lady who had a product. And she was a little bit persistent, we'll say, and that's me putting it very nicely. She was a little bit persistent about me reviewing her product. Now, mind you, it takes me a while to get through the product reviews that I have to do in my niche because there are so many. It's ridiculous. I had to convert a spare bedroom into a product review room. Anyway, so, but she was very persistent. How did she, number one, get a top influencer in that niche, me? How did she get me to review her product? And would you be interested to know from her perspective and from my perspective, both, I sent 6 figures in sales into her business in 6 months, in less than 6 months. So we're talking about finding someone that can infuse 6 figures in under 6 months into your business. Or on the flip side, maybe you would like to know, how do I become an affiliate or an influencer who can drive 6 figures worth of sales in under 6 months? And obviously our commission on all of that. So I'm curious what your thoughts are in terms of those topics. Everybody's at a different place and everybody's kind of focusing on a different thing. And so there's lots of micro topics and mini topics. How do you build a buying audience? How do you, get any traction on Instagram? What other topics can you think of, specifically that would, really mean something to your business? Would it be recruiting and working with affiliates? Would it be becoming a super affiliate, or what have you? I'd be happy to show you some live examples, of where I've done that. Just last month, I topped 2 leaderboards with 1 blog post. And then a month before, I topped a leaderboard, which was a lot of fun. So I have so much fun with that. Really enjoy it. But like I said, it's being my birthday. I was like, what can I give you guys? What can I do for you guys? And I started thinking of some fun, like just kind of webinar topics maybe where I can share my screen. And it would basically be an over-the-shoulder show and tell kind of a thing. And I've done them before, but it was years ago. And I used to do free weekly webinars and teach people. But I want to know, like, do you really want to learn it? Are you really that interested? Are you still really, going for a full-time online business? I mean, I have successfully sustained my lifestyle, which is, traveling and home owning and raising children and everything else, as a single income household for 23 years. So that's saying something. Now, the interesting thing, too, that I've discovered is a lot of people lately are getting very disillusioned with internet marketing or disheartened. I don't know, whichever word you want to use, right? And so I read some really great articles lately about YouTubers, for example. YouTubers, that's like a definitive term for people. Anyway, so people who, got on there and then the algorithms changed or, they got kind of blacklisted and it just ruined their whole life because they had this whole business built around that one model. I read another really interesting article about a top blogger, the top blogger really, and one I've been reading for, years, like since, I'm trying to think, what is this? It'll be close to 2 decades. So she was a leader in the blogging industry, in the blogging world, and she was very disillusioned with, when things changed and people started getting and reading their content on social media instead of being like so much like blog readers. So here's the thing, though. Stuff changes. Stuff changes constantly. In fact, the only consistent thing about the internet is change. Otherwise, I'd still be on MySpace every day. I miss MySpace. Anyway, so you can't build your business around a specific platform. You have to build a business, right? But the other thing is sometimes platforms are hot. Like Facebook groups are hot right now still. Instagram is super hot right now for building an audience. Video across all platforms is super hot, and it has to be native video specifically, and because there's a lot of competition going on between Google and YouTube and Facebook and things like that. So you can't cross between the two. It has to be native video. Anyway, the point that I'm making is you want to leverage those platforms while they're hot. You want to get in on that. You want to use that, but you use that to build your business. You don't use that to build a business, right? So that's just kind of one of the things I've learned in over 2 decades online, is you have to roll with it. You have to go with it. So you can't, give up because, blogging is dead. YouTube is dead. Facebook is dead. Whatever. Your business is not dead. Your entrepreneurial spirit is not dead, right? So you go with the stuff. You go with what's hot, what's working, and you just keep rolling with it. And so I've learned a lot of things along the way. And the interesting thing is the base principles of how I run my business, how I build buying audiences, how I serve those markets, how I do all of those things has not changed. So the platforms might change, the way you do things, where you do things, how you do things, but the way I run my business and serve my audiences and do things has not really changed. And I think that's something worth talking about. But then there's also the little, platform-specific stuff. But the 6 figures in 6 months, I think, would be an interesting thing if I can talk her into it, this business owner. When you take a small business in their very first year of business and you infuse 6 figures worth of sales, which is a large number of customers, then you create a problem. And it's called growing pains. And they can be very painful. I've experienced them in my own business. And so what happened? What problems did that cause her? Was she upset about it? Was she happy about it? How did she roll with that? All of those types of things. It's a good problem to have, you would think, And I'm sure that it is, And so anyway, I'm curious. Would you like to hear our story of working together, like how she got me on board, how she keeps me on board, how I keep driving, sales to her business, things like that. And I guess I'm curious what would interest you most based on your business model, based on what you're interested in, based on what you most want to achieve. I will tell you too that, years ago, like let's say back in 2003, I used to play Google AdWords. And I say play because it was like playing the nickel slots. Back then in 03, 04, you could do Google AdWords literally for a nickel a click. And it was as addictive as the nickel slots in Vegas. And so I used to do that and do it on the side. So I've done a lot of make money online things along the way. I've had a lot of different styles of business models, service-based business. I worked with clients. I did, paid advertising on the side because it was hot. Why not make the money? So I've done lots of things like that. But the way that I run my core business is all organic. So I'm not doing paid advertising, and that kind of thing. So I think that might be beneficial for a lot of people just starting out to learn, how to run their business on a shoestring budget, or super cheap. So I got the niche that I'm working in now. It's extremely successful. I started that for less than $10 and was in profit within the first few weeks. So I think it was 7 weeks into that brand new niche that I scored my very first paid sponsor. So just to say, I'm aggressive a little bit, we'll say, but I'm not over the top, give it my all, and then if it doesn't succeed within 24 hours, I'll call it a failure. That's ridiculous. I'm consistent. I'm persistent. I'm aggressive. But I'm also extremely giving. So I could be making a ton more money. I could be, running ads all the time. I could be, doing landing pages and all the time and crappy products. No offense to anybody, and things like that. But I love what I do. I care about what I do. I care about the people I do it with and for a lot. And so my business is extremely fulfilling. It's something I wake up every day passionate about, excited about, and if I don't, I throw my shorts on and go hiking. And then I come back, passionate and excited all over again. So anyway, that was exciting to me. I woke up 46 today and realized it was 23 years in business, meaning half my life I have been doing what I do. So I'd like to hear from you. What would you like to learn from me? If you had the opportunity, if I were going to do a free session or share my screen with you or do kind of a show and tell video or webinar or show you anything, if I could teach you anything, what would you most like to learn? Considering I am in the trenches working on these platforms in a specific niche, serving real people, talking about real products. That's outside of the whole internet marketing space where, it's kind of like you have to ask yourself sometimes, some of these experts or whatever in internet marketing, what have they ever sold besides selling you how to do something and then using you or using that as an example of what, right? Have they ever sold a real product to a real person and prove it? I think that you should really look for that when you consider learning from someone or taking a training or hiring a coach or something like that. Or maybe they had success a few years ago, but they don't have anything current in the last few years. That's important too, because what's working right now is completely different than what was working, let's say, 5 years ago or 10 years ago. Because I could be teaching you all about, hot markets and let's say, how I used to do niche SEO stuff and this and that. But the fact is, people have gotten smarter. They changed the way they search. And Google, in turn, because they're serving their audience, has changed their algorithm to meet those needs. So, so now we have intuitive results, which got a lot of people who were really focused on SEO as their primary source of traffic, got a lot of people, really bent out of shape. So they're like, oh my gosh, now all this, hard work I did to target these very specific keywords or whatever is just shot. And so they just gave up and said, forget it, or whatever. And the thing, though, is it's really beneficial. The intuitive results are insane. They're crazy. All you really have to do is speak their language. All you have to do is talk like a person. So now you don't have to talk like a keyword. You don't have to be like a walking word tracker, Although keywords are still important, they're still relative because it's the phrases or the words that your audience uses, but you can be more conversational with it now than you could be before. There's also this other part of that, the second part of that, which is people get their content differently now than they used to. It used to be we went to Google for everything or whatever your favorite search engine. So now ask yourself, the majority of the content I read or the majority of the products I buy are based on what? Where did you first see them? You probably didn't go search on Google. Let's say, for example, this fabulous dress. I love this dress. It's super cute. It doesn't wrinkle. I don't know if you can see that. Anyway, it doesn't wrinkle, so you can literally wad it up, throw it in a suitcase, go somewhere, get it out. You don't even have to steam it or iron it. You throw it on and you go somewhere and you look great, right? And I got it on Amazon for like $20. It's so amazing. So you weren't shopping for a dress or a dress for your wife or for your sister or whatever the case. However, now you might be interested, right? And so the point I'm saying is that you get inspiration, you get ideas, you get, interested in products sometimes because they're put in front of you in different places and in different ways when you're not even searching for them. Now, I'm not trying to sell you my dress. Not like you can't have my dress. This is mine. But what I'm trying to say is things have changed, and it opens up so much opportunity for those of you in practically any niche. And I could go on and on. We could talk about affinity marketing. We could talk about, how to really dig in and know your demographics because it's way outside of Google Analytics. It's in the one place that's the most obvious that you're probably not looking. So I'm curious. Just tell me, what would you like to know? What would you like to learn? Because I'm planning out my year, I'm strategizing, I'm mapping out my ideas, and I would like to share some of this stuff with you. But I don't want to do it in a way that's too expensive. I don't want to do it in a way that's something you're not going to implement or not going to use. I want to know where you are in your business, what excites you the most, what you would love to learn. The two examples I gave you are just ideas, as far as depending on, kind of where you're at in your business. And I also want to inspire you and I want to motivate you if you are disheartened or a little bit, thinking that internet marketing or online marketing is, not what it used to be. It's not. It's way better. And so I want you to, if you're feeling that way or if you're concerned, about, is it too late to start? Is it too late to start back? Should have done this years ago. Just forget all that. Because I would say to someone who's starting today, just like this lady I was telling you about who just set her Facebook page up today, it is the best time to start. Things are better than ever online if you are running a real business. And so I want to encourage you to get excited about it again, to kind of reignite your passion for, having that lifestyle or what have you. I can't even explain to you what it has meant to me. My children were 5 months and 5 years old when I quit my last job in the 90s. I think I haven't had a job since 1996. And they are now turning 23 and 28 years old. So with my one income solely from the internet for the last 23 and almost a half years, I have raised 2 children, bought a home, traveled the world. I've been to Australia 5 times. I have the lifestyle that I really wanted, and I worked really hard for it. and you know what it's like. You're like, I want this. And I didn't have a lot of options at the time. So the idea of like getting another job wasn't an option for me at a certain point because my son was sick. So I had to be home full time. And as the only parent and the only adult in the house and also the only source of income, I had to figure out a way to make that work. And I did. So give me some topics. Let's talk. And I'm really interested in figuring out how I can best help you. I've been a little bit quiet, and the only reason for that is because I'm so busy doing what I love. But I would love to share some of that with you and share some of the results with you, only if you're really interested and you really think you're going to implement this in your own niche or in your own business. Jeremy said, I'm envious of you for getting on live, on Facebook Live. I'm still pushing myself on this. Happy birthday. You're an awesome soul. Thank you, Jeremy. So I would say that I have to attribute that to Monique Johnson. She was like, why are you not going live? And she really inspired me. So I do that more in my niche as low carb traveler, and I have so much fun with it. We have a great time with the lives and stuff like that. But so those are the topics: 6 figures in 6 months, and both sides of it. I think that would be so much fun to do a webinar, like do both sides of that and talk about how she got me on board and talk about why I stayed on board and talk about how we work together and how we make that work. I think that would be beneficial for everyone, hearing both sides of that success story. Facebook page growth and marketing, how to build a buying audience on Facebook, how to serve that audience, not just how to build an audience. Because I see people do that all the time, and I see them do things just for the likes or just for the engagement. Do you know that half the statistics you're looking at are useless? So I was looking at one of my posts recently, and it got no comments, no likes, no engagement. Okay, maybe 2 or 3, right? But I mean, I was looking at it, and I was like, should I delete that? Because, it's obviously not performing well, and it was just an organic post. But you know what? I clicked on Insights and there were 67 link clicks. And all it was, this particular Facebook page post was an affiliate link. And I thought to myself, well, silly, conversions are the only true metric that matter. That's it. So I'm sitting there like, getting clicks and making money or whatever. But I look at it, and of course the first thing you think is, oh, but I didn't get, the engagement or the response rate or this or that. So what? Conversions are the only metric that matter. Otherwise, you have a very expensive hobby. And honestly, it does not matter if it's not costing you money. If it's costing you time, it's an expensive hobby. It's costing you time away from, anything else you could be doing. Costing you time away from building the life you really want, etc. So Sherry says, hi, Sherry. Sherry and I just had lunch the other day, and I was really inspired by that. I came home with a head full of thoughts and wrote down a bunch of notes after we had lunch. That's one of the great things about doing this, and one of the reasons I want to do this together with you guys. So to inspire ideas or creative angles or what have you. But anyway, Sherry says how to build a buying audience on Facebook and Instagram would be awesome. So the cool thing is you want to build that buying audience everywhere, right? And that's the cool thing. Like, I don't know, 8 years ago, remember when Tumblr was hot? And I think it was Michelle McPherson who inspired me to get on Tumblr, and it was back like probably 8 years ago when we were doing the IMTW podcast, Internet Marketing This Week, with myself and Michelle McPherson and Ed Dale and Paul Colligan. It was a fun podcast. Anyway, so I now have almost 12,000 Tumblr followers, and my Tumblr blog is still like actively like picking up traffic and making sales. It's amazing. But yeah, anyway, so that's all aside as far as that goes. But I have so much fun stuff I would like to share with you guys. Like I said, leave me a topic. What would you most like to learn from someone who is actually working in the trenches in a specific niche, serving a market? We're talking, outside of the internet marketing space. What would you like to learn, and what would you most like to accomplish or achieve in your business? So if you don't feel comfortable posting the answer, like here on this video, just shoot me a message and we'll talk there, or I'll get your answer there at least. And anyway, thank you so much for the birthday wishes. I thought it was really cool. It was just like, oh my gosh, how neat is that? That it's like exactly half my life ago that I was just struggling in my first year of business and really had nowhere to turn and no one to talk to and no one to kind of learn from at the time or what have you. And so don't want that to be the case for you. All right, so I look forward to reading your comments and questions, and I'll get back to you. I'm going to see if I can talk these two ladies into joining me live for you so that you can kind of learn from what they're doing and what they're achieving in their own businesses, their first year of business this year. Doesn't matter if you're in your first year or not. Like for me, I've been in business 23 years. I still go to events. I still look at what other people are doing. I still need to see these examples because it gives me creative ideas because everyone does things so different. I've always said if you took 10 people who are the 10 people you look up to the most, right, that are doing what you want to be doing, that are successful, at what you want to be doing or what have you. And if you put those 10 people on a panel and you asked all 10 of them the exact same question, you would get at least 12 different answers. Because everybody does things differently. It doesn't make it right or wrong. It just means, hey, I could take these ideas and pull them all together and make them work in my business the way I want to. So that's it. Sandy said I would really be interested in seeing how you help someone make 6 figures in 6 months. I need to find out how to make my blog profitable. Yes. So making it profitable is the key. And Sandy, I know you have access to me privately, so you can pop in there or what have you, and we'll chat some more. Anyway, leave me a comment, leave me a note, leave me a topic. Let's talk. I would like to see how I could help you over the coming year. I'm really kind of mapping out my year and how I want to do things. Like I said, I know I've been quiet lately. I have not been emailing you and posting stuff or whatever. I share things as they cross my screen that I think you might be interested in. But I haven't been actively blogging on Click News or doing any of those things because I've been so busy doing what I teach. And but I'd like to get back to sharing some of that with you guys if you're interested. All right, that's it for now, and I will talk to you soon on the flip side in plain text.